what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Ways of the Sith. Thank you so much for taking time to check out the channel. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on X and Instagram at Ways of the Sith. So, picked up a few of these G.I. Joes at a couple different targets. Happened to find Metalhead, Duke, and Recondo. I had to cancel a bunch of the Joes because there was just way too many of them coming with some of the Marvel Legends sets, some of the Black Series stuff. So, I had to wait until the following week. And luckily, Target had the sale going on this week. So, I was able to use the coupon and save $20 on my purchases. So, I took advantage of that as opposed to reordering these from Amazon. So I'm on the fence with Recondo if I'm going to open him or I'm just going to keep him on card. My goal was to be a completist with the retro cards, Joes. But Recondo, I have the Tiger Force one on my shelf. I don't know if I really need to open this one to have this version on the shelf. So for now, I'll just give you a look at him in the package. This Duke is a little banged up, so I will open this Duke, and Metalhead we're definitely going to open up and take a look at. So let's go. All right, so here is a look at Recondo, and this looks really awesome. The one thing that's a huge standout to this is the card itself. Yeah, top quality. So these cards now are on the same Marvel Legends card backs. The plastic is now tucked into the cardboard like the Marvel Legends are. This way you're not going to have any issues because I already know from the previous wave of retros that are on my wall, the plastic is starting to peel from the glue. Those card backs are really cheap and flimsy, and it was really hard to try to find each one mock on card, but yeah, this Recondo I was gonna open, but I decided instead of buying two of these, I could probably just get away with just the one and hang this on the shelf. So that's what I'm gonna do with it. But it looks cool. It's a nice update. This is the classic uniform for him. And then on the back, we get a look at the file card and, the first wave of 3. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, originally I was going to be a completist of this line, but I think because some of them are characters that I don't really need, like the eels and the snow serpents, I'm probably not going to end up completing these on card. But as far as the Joes and Cobra go, I'll definitely pick up like the main characters to continue my wall display of the retro cards. But let's take a look at Duke and Metalhead. So here is a look at Retro Duke, and this is the Duke I think all of us had wanted. My only minor nitpick would be that instead of the backpack, I wish we would have got a jetpack with some flame effects. I would have definitely took that because in my mind, this version of Duke and Scarlet are always flying in the intro with the jetpacks. So that's my mind's eye, at least, how I remember it. So it would have been cool to get the jetpack. And unfortunately, I didn't pick up the Steel Corps troops that had the jetpack. So I might have to track one of those down, or I know I can order the jetpacks from a seller on Etsy. But Duke looks awesome. And here is a look at the back. And we'll get him open and actually take a look at this Duke. All right, here is our look at Duke, and yeah, this is the perfect iteration of him. You get the American flag on the sleeve, you get the perfect face sculpt of him, and he comes loaded. I didn't really realize because some of it's displayed behind him in the actual packaging. So you get the binoculars. You get the rifle that came, I think, with both previous Dukes. I never had that first one. I only had the Tiger Force one, so I know this came with the Tiger Force one. You get the classic Joe, blaster that for the laser rifle, which is a great addition to the line. They gave you fists, which is not something that you normally get with Joes. Not all the time do we get extra hands, so I'll take them when you can. And then we get the Duke backpack, and they changed the deco on here to include it. I can't really zoom in so you can see it because it gets super blurry, but it's the G.I. Joe slogan on the inside there. And then you get Duke's helmet with the visor, and it flips down, and to me, that's classic, going back to the retro figure. You get the pistol and you get the knife. So we'll get him all suited up and we'll take a look. So here is Duke all geared up, and I went with the laser rifle because I think the only other person to come with that so far has been Grunt, and I don't have him displayed with that. So Duke will be my first one, displayed on my shelf with the laser rifle. And here's the visor up. Here is the helmet off. The helmet is a little bit of a tight fit, so hopefully it doesn't scratch up the hair paint after a while. But he looks awesome. I really, really like this. The binoculars come off, and you can just kind of have him chilling in his gear. I really, really dig this Duke. This is the one I've wanted, so I'm really happy to have this version on my shelf. And last but not least, here is a look at Metalhead, and this is our first Iron Grenader, I believe, that we've gotten in the Joe line. So pretty cool that they're going to be doing that, basically Destro's faction of Cobra. So really, really cool. I vividly remember this character, but I know a lot of people didn't, and he's from the later iteration of the G.I. Joe cartoon, kind of when they got really wacky and crazy with it. So not the original series, but the reboot of it, I guess you could say, that ran in the early 90s. So that's when they kind of really went out there with some of the character designs and some of the characters, and that's what Metalhead is from. But I always remember him just being a crazy lunatic and boom, 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 boom all the time. I remember having the original figure as a kid, because that's about the time that I really got into Joe's. Was when that second show was airing, and then went back and started rewatching like the original series. So I had really no plans of picking this up at regular price, but again, with that Target sale, I got $20 off, so it worked out in that regard. So I ended up just picking them up. I'm not sure, because Mutt and Junkyard are still sitting on the shelves, and I'm scratching my head as to why, because they're such great figures. But I guess people are really just waiting to get things on a discount now. I believe that if you really like these brands and support them, you're going to buy them. If you're the people like waiting for stuff to go to Ross and Ollie's, that's not going to happen as much going forward because Hasbro's not making as much product. So basically what they're doing is when they see the pre-orders come in, if it's not a great pre-order, they're capping the product at the factory and they're only making so much. So once those pre-orders run out and once those, supplies and numbers of things run out, that's it. We saw it in the Black Series recently with some of the Ahsoka figures where people still had them on pre-order and they were getting canceled because they stopped making them. So it's going to be interesting to see going forward. I think that crowd, though, that is the clearance crowd, trust me, I love getting deals too, but sometimes it hurts the community more than it helps it, if you know what I'm saying. But he looks really cool. Here is a look at the back, and he just looks awesome, all geared out. I really like the way they did these new Joe packages where, we're getting the figure photography on the back, and then the artwork still here. So really cool. But let's get him open and take a look. All right, so here is Metalhead outside of the package, and he comes with quite a lot of stuff. These rockets were really a pain in the ass to get out of the package, so just take your time getting them. They split at the blast effect and the rocket. I saw in B's Battlegrounds video, that was one of his complaints that he had with this, was that, the rockets go in with the blast effects, but if you want to store them inside these, without not looking like they're blasting, that they're just firing, they're really loose fitting inside of there. This whole entire mechanism comes apart, so don't be alarmed as you're taking it out of the package. It has the cords that go into the ones that hook to his legs, and then these are on hinges, so you can basically spin these or position them however you want, once it's on his back. Comes with an awesome rifle, another gun, a knife. Comes with this sick gladiator looking helmet, which I'm probably not going to display him with, but I definitely will use it for somebody with Cobra because that just looks cool. And then he comes with the alternate hair with the goggles. So that's the one I'm going to go with because that's how I remember him, with those crazy goggles. The other swooping hair is the default head. And he's got a lot of cool deco and modern updates that they did. He's got the Destro logo on his arm. He's got the gear that's lit up on the back, which is a nice little touch. And then on the front here, he's got Cold Slither and a bunch of X's and, check marks, keeping tabs on stuff. So really awesome. Let me get him geared up and then we'll take a look. All right, so here he is all geared up with this stuff on him, and he is super heavy. So just be aware of that like you're gonna have to really position him around to try to get him so he's not falling over. But he looks really cool. So this is what I was talking about with the blast effects, is they kind of port in there and stay in. But if you want to just put, you know, the rocket in there, it doesn't fit into the actual, you know, thing. I'm not sure if you can turn it around, and no. So yeah, I'm not really sure what the purpose of that was, but they don't fit in any of the things without the blast effects. The smaller ones might. Let me see. So the smaller ones do. They can store, you know, just kind of sitting there, but it looks kind of dumb because they are just kind of flimsy and like laying down. It looks like something that I'm not going to say on the video, but so I guess pretty much the goal is to just display him, you know, blasting everything. That's probably going to be the best way he's going to look on the shelf displayed, but pretty cool. And here is Metalhead all geared out, and he just looks insane on the shelf like this. This is probably how I'm going to display him with all the rockets firing, since you can't really do it any other way. The good thing is the lower ones come at different heights, so you can kind of flip them around, but they are not interchangeable with the bigger rockets. So smaller effects go with the smaller rockets, bigger effects go with the bigger rockets. It's just how it is. The one problem I can see presenting itself over time is, depending on how you display these, if you display them like hanging out like this, eventually those hinges are going to fall. So I would recommend maybe like flipping it up like this, so then this way you give a little bit of support and you can kind of turn them around, you know, to fire them in different directions and stuff. So pretty cool. Overall, I really like the figure. With him, Duke, and I didn't open Recondo, but I'm assuming the same thing is, you know, with him as the others. They feel a little bit more stiffer, which I'm glad, because usually with Joe's, we sometimes get that loose ab joint. I haven't noticed that on Airborne. He was another one that I opened. I'm still waiting on Quick Kick and Boa, so I don't know about them, but at least with these, all of them are very tight and nice. I didn't need to use any hot water to move any of the joints. They moved, but they are nice and tight and not like loose, because there are quite a few of Joe's in the line that have that issue. Well, that'll do it for today. Overall, a bunch of really fun additions to the Joe shelf. Duke was much needed in this iteration. I am so happy to have him. And Metalhead really just looks awesome. I'm going to probably have him and Firefly side by side, just with a bunch of explosions going off. Recondo looks great. Like I said, I'm just going to probably end up keeping this one on card, and this way I don't have to buy a second one. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And I think these are going to be great additions to the Joe shelf, and just look really great displayed. But thank you so much for taking time to check out the video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And as always, may the force be with you. This is The Ways.
We would be honored if you would join us.